Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home.
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. This is Amy, and today I am joined by Phil. Hi, Phil.
Just Phil. Womp womp. Scott and Kathleen are still
Just Phil.
out west enjoying themselves. You got saddled with me.
Not only are they enjoying Disneyland, which in and of itself is enjoyable, but they are enjoying spectacular weather. While here on the East Coast, it's like floods and humidity and disgusting heat and just weather. You know, I just got back from California yesterday, and so the shock to my system between how gorgeous and not humid it is there and what it is here in New Jersey right now is really just, it's too much for me.
Rhode Island isn't any better. It is as hot and sticky as my balls.
Hello, Fairy Horn.
Yeah, there will be a fairy horn there.
Yeah, so
Very illustrative, though.
Oh, well, I mean, look, I'm not up close and personal, so I'll take your word for it.
My wife thanks you.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that or what the weather is in Rhode Island right now, so I'll just have
Same
to
as New
fully
Jersey.
take your word. Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting, but
In the meantime, Scott and Kathleen have 75 and 4% humidity.
right. And I mean, the sun is like so strong there, but you go into the shade and it is like the most pleasant weather, and when the sun goes down, you're cold. I mean, it's crazy.
Is this one of those dry heat conversations? Yes, but it's a dry heat.
Right. Yeah, well, that doesn't matter when it's 115 degrees. Like when Emma used to go, when she used to go, I mean, for the past 2 years, when she's gone out to California for her program, I've stayed out there and stayed in Palm Springs because it is very cheap to stay in Palm Springs in July because it's, a dry 115 degrees, which literally feels like you've just opened the oven and shoved your head in it.
Just a blast furnace.
Dry heat when it's that hot is not pleasant. So, but when they are back next week, we will talk about their experience at Disneyland and our clubhouse meetup out
And
there
yours.
and all of the Disneyland things.
I'm
But today,
jelly. I miss
you and I can
Disneyland.
just, I really, and I don't want to get into it too much, but I really have been like really falling for Disneyland hard. Like I'm down bad for Disneyland right now.
It's easy to do.
It is so easy to do. And again, like the weather really does matter because like when you're at Disney World and it is so hot, it's like sometimes it's hard to enjoy because it's just so hot and humid. At Disneyland, it's like the perfect weather, totally different vibe. And I'm really vibing with Disneyland. I was there this past weekend and I was there 3 weekends ago. And man, I know I've been talking a lot about wanting to buy Lakeshore Lodge, but the villas at Disneyland Hotel really have kind of lured me in hook, line, and sinker because it is just that the Disneyland Hotel in general, I just love it. I really love it. But we won't get into it too much. But something we can discuss about Disneyland is so they've just released Disney Parks released on their social media and on their blog the teaser of the new attraction that's opening on the 17th in time for the 70th anniversary of the first ever Walt Disney animatronic, and the and the internet has like
It's brutal.
really gone insane over this.
I
Like,
posted
yeah,
it on Clubhouse the other day. Like, I think we actually have to have another poll. Like, who does this look more like? Is it Regis Philbin? Is it Dr. Phil? Is it Mike Lindell, the pillow guy? Because it doesn't look like Walt. It most assuredly does not look like Walt.
I mean, it looks like Walt. Like if Walt had, I don't know, like uh, just like was super bloated and grew his eyebrows to be very unruly. Like I don't know. I mean, I do think like I do think that in this day and age where we can take an image of Walt Disney, compare it to an actual picture of Walt Disney, and put it on social media for it to circulate to like billions of people, you know, we view things through a very critical eye, because I was looking at some of the side by side pictures of some of the animatronics from the Hall of Presidents. And I mean, some of those are really, really rough. Like Barack Obama it looked nothing like Barack Obama. He looked like, I mean, Barack Obama is a very slim man, and this guy looked like he, you know, was like a linebacker. There was, I mean, George W. Bush looked, they did him dirty. His eyes looked like, I mean, some of the eyes on these things are so creepy looking. Like you don't want to make eye contact for too long because you're
They
not
didn't do him
sure.
as
Like
dirty as our current president in his first iteration, who looked shockingly like Hillary Clinton with a spray tan and a comb over.
it's true. It is true.
Look, we got Abraham Lincoln right at the 64 World's Fair. And as we were talking about before the show, we have photographs of Abraham Lincoln, actual photographs, and they got it spot on. But they managed to make poor Walt look like anybody but Walt. I think I said he was Timu Walt. Like he was Walt if you ordered him from overseas on Timu.
Yeah, I said that he's Walt pre Ozempic, and he desperately needs to find a good eyebrow threading salon because his eyebrows were so bushy, and Walt Disney did not have bushy eyebrows. So I mean, I feel like that was a detail they really could have easily fixed. But
How does Imagineering look at this and go, "Yep, that's good. Send it."
yeah, nailed it.
Especially with
I mean,
social media and how the family was already objecting to this and people already had problems. And Imagineering gave us Mike Lindell. Like they just, what were they thinking?
I don't know. I mean, I want to believe that when you go in there and you watch it, you will be able to suspend disbelief and just listen and enjoy it and feel Walt's presence. But I mean, you can feel Walt's present there without looking at this like janky animatronic version of him.
Just give us the voiceover, do like they do in Epcot. Just, you know, look, they got Mark Twain, they got Benjamin Franklin. Give us Beyonce up on screen with an eagle's wings flapping, some Walt quotes, and everyone would have called it good. But they didn't. They just halfway sent it.
I feel like they just want Disney fans at this point to destroy them on social media. Like they are just asking to be destroyed. And I mean, I saw somebody be like, they should have sent it over to Universal, have them do it. Universal would have done a better job on a Walt
Universal does Walt
animatronic.
better than Disney does.
So, I mean, overall, I think that the sentiment behind the attraction is a lovely one, but yeah, it didn't go over the way they had hoped. And honestly, I just feel like they need to stop like with the previews and the teasers, because they do it to build excitement and all it does is build criticism. And that seems like it's with everything they do lately. Like just stop giving us the teasers. Stop teasing us about whatever the DVC summer
Disappoint us in
things.
real time.
Yeah, just disappoint. Like, don't give anyone a time to scrutinize the preview. Let them just go and experience it, and because the previews are just not, they're not working. Like, it's okay. Stick to the Disney Cruise Line previews because they actually build excitement and then they live up to the expectations that they have put forth. But yeah, that was,
It's rough.
It is rough. And the other thing that is rough is that Eat to the Beat concert list that you just read to me before we jumped on.
I'm going to go through this because if this does not date us and age us. Had to wait for the phone to stop ringing there. We were talking before the show that if we went through this concert list in 1995, this is every big stadium around the world sold out. This is the headliners for 1995, and they have now been reduced to Eat to the Beat, playing at Epcot for 3 days at a time. I am just going to go through this list to put it in perspective.
Please
we have
do.
Joey Fatone and Friends. Not the whole band, just Joey Fatone and Friends. We have Mercy Me, who has been a staple there. I can understand that. Katie Tunstall and her Wild Horses. Toby Mac. Starship. I don't know who Basilos is. We've got Sheila E. This is way before 95. Tiffany. I think we're alone now. Jesse and Joy. No idea. Next, October 3rd and 4th. Who Let the Dogs Out, Baby? We have the Baha Men. October 5th and 6th. No one in that spot yet. Still TBD. October 10th and 11th. The Wanted 2.0. I'm not even sure who the Wanted 1.0 is, but we have the Wanted 2.0. Then we have The Fray, teaching us how to save a life. Bop, on my birthday, we have Hanson. Hoobastank. Smash Mouth. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Oh, How the Mighty Have Fallen, Boys to Men, who, by the way, have a new rendition of the Muppet song there, Rainbow.
Rainbow Connection.
Thank you. It's awful. Positively terrible. Go back to listen to Kermit. Then we have David Archuleta, Jordan Sparks, Bowling for Soup, and finally November 16th and 17th, the penultimate, the Beach Boys, who I'm pretty sure don't really have many of the Beach Boys left. But with any luck, maybe we'll get John Stamos on the bongos with his new rendition of Kokomo as if he were in front of the Grand Floridian. Oh my goodness, I feel like I am back in middle school.
Now listen, yes, it definitely makes us feel old. That is for sure. But I have to say, a couple of years ago, I went to one of the concerts during Eat to the Beat, and it was Kool and the Gang. And I laughed because, again, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, how old are
But
they?
that
How
super
old am I?
old has been new again. Like, at least that counts as a classic when you've got Kool and the Gang.
Well, and let me tell you, they were amazing. I mean, their energy, like, I was like, wow. Like, they were so incredible, and it was so fun. So, I mean, look.
Maybe the Baha Men are going to bring it. How do we know?
Well, I saw Tiffany like 3 years ago at a NKOTB collab with her, them, and Debbie Gibson. So, you know.
Oh my gosh, that is the late 80s just come back to haunt us right there, isn't it? That's the big three.
Yeah, that was like my 12 to 14-year-old self was like in heaven. Like,
were you fangirling hard for that one?
I got lost in their eyes, Phil.
Well, you know, Amy, just take it step by step.
Oh my gosh. Yes, no, it was amazing. So like some of these I mean, I think Disney knows who their demographic is, you know. They're not going to pull talent that like that's young and successful enough to like really appeal to like the 20 somethings. So they know that they're appealing to us.
They know exactly who's spending money in World Showcase, don't they?
They sure do.
The 20-somethings do not have the disposable income for a dining package to include Eat to the Beat, but you know who does.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm looking at her in the Zoom screen right now
no
on my
kidding, huh?
computer. But I mean, they're fun. I mean, I do have to give it to Disney. Like, I think that at the festivals, the concert series that they do like are really a nice touch. I've seen like some people that I really like there. So, you know, despite the fact that I'm faced with the impermanence of my own existence while I'm sitting there watching Tiffany sing I Think We're Alone Now, you know, I do enjoy those concert series. So
So I remember going to see Boys to Men. We have a place up here called Great Woods. I think it's now the Tweeter Center or something. I don't know. It was our outdoor venue. It's where we had Buffett every year. And I remember that I got tickets to go see Boys to Men, took my girlfriend at the time, and opening for them was Montel Jordan. Do you remember Montel Jordan? This is how we do it. Montel opened for Boys
This
to
is
Men.
how we do it.
He got up, he sang that song, he talked to the crowd for about 2 minutes, he sang that song a second time, and then Boys to Men came out. That was the show.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Talk about like a one-hit wonder. He's like, I'm a one-hit wonder that is going to sing my one hit twice.
So Em and I talk about it. We didn't realize until years after we'd been married. I was telling a story. Rusted Root came to one of our local clubs here years ago. You want to talk about a one-hit wonder? They were supposed to go on at like 9 o'clock. We go to the show. We buy tickets. Now, I don't even know my wife at this point. She's probably in high school at the time. This was an 18 and over club, but anybody over the age of 4 could usually get in without ID. They came out at 11:30 at night. They sang On My Way, and they went home. That was the entire concert. They were 2.5 hours late to the show. They sang their one song and they left. That was the entire concert. And it wasn't until 20 years later, I'm telling this story, and my wife says, I was there. We were at the show at the same time, being disappointed by Rusted Root, only to be married 20 years after.
That is hilarious. That's one of those invisible string moments where, you know, that picture that circulates on that's been circulating on social media of the married couple who were looking, like one of them was looking at the spouse's photo album, and it was a picture of the one of them in the stroller, and in the background was like
Was the other one just
yeah
that they
just
happened
like
to be there for the baby picture, which is a little creepy, but other than that.
yeah, that's so crazy. But, you know, I mean, honestly, when you think about it, like hardcore Disney fans, like it becomes a little bit more like it feels a little bit less weird when you realize that they were hardcore Disney fans and that they probably went all the time. It's not like they each went on like this one trip and they happened to be there at the same time, but it's still pretty crazy.
And I always wonder how many photos are hanging on people's walls of them in front of the castle that have me walking by in the background because we're there so often.
Right.
Speaking of walking by people, have you ever noticed this? We're going totally off on a tangent here, but have you ever noticed if you go to Disney for like a 5-day trip, you always manage to bump into that one family like 9 times over the course of the trip? Like you saw them in check-in, and then I saw them at Everest, and then 2 days later we were at Magic Kingdom, and then that night I saw them in World Showcase. Or it's this, like you bumped into John and James. I was walking through World Showcase last December, and there was Gary with his wife and kids. There are 300,000 people on that property at any given time, yet I managed to see that same family 6 times in a week. It's surreal.
There was on the trip that I got engaged on, and it was my ex-husband's first trip to Disney, and we saw this guy, and he must have been about 6'4", and he was wearing a bright yellow baseball cap. We saw this guy everywhere we went, and he stuck out like a sore thumb, right? He was tall
You
with
couldn't
like
miss
the
him.
most with like the most obnoxious color hat ever. And we saw him everywhere. And finally one day, like we were sitting on Main Street USA on the rocking chairs, like right when you walk in to the left,
Mhm.
and we see him walk by, and we're like, there he is. And I took my camera, you know, I wasted one of my, you know, pictures on my roll of
Actual
film
like the old 110s.
for this guy because I was like, I need to take a picture of him. So I got a picture of him and I developed the film. And I mean, I don't know where that picture is now, but
It turns
took
out
a
he
picture
wasn't
of
in the
him.
photo. He was invisible. He was a ghost the whole
Right.
time. This is waiting to take a
Right.
turn.
Right. It's like sometimes like when you see something like that, you're like, that guy's a glitch in the matrix. Like
Exactly. It's like the woman in the red dress. That's him.
right. Yeah, that's totally him. Yeah. So just something else, like real quick about about presidents and Disneyland is while I was at Disneyland, JD Vance was visiting.
I did see that. I guess the security was ridiculous around Grand Cal because he had so much protection detail with him.
Yeah, so I at this point I was with Cindy from the Facebook group. We had just said goodbye to Kathleen and Scott. We had all had lunch, and Cindy and I were staying over at the villas at Disneyland, at the Disneyland Hotel, and Kathleen and Scott were staying at the Grand Cal. And so Cindy and I were going to walk through rather than walking back through downtown Disney to get to the Disneyland Hotel, we were going to walk, where you can walk by Pixar Place. And we're trying to get out, and like every exit, they're telling us like, no, you can't get out here. Like you can't walk this way. And so we decided we were going to go through the Grand Cal to the Villas area and exit where the entrance to Pixar Pier is in Disneyland.
Yep.
And walk out that way, which we were able to do. But when we went to go through the exit gate to then cross the street, there was this giant tent with these like bomb sniffing dogs all sniffing every single car that was coming through. And like we couldn't, and Cindy actually had, Cindy lives in California, so I think that they all kind of, there was like some buzz. Nobody knew exactly what was happening, but they knew something was going to be happening. And she was like, I saw the social media post that there's like there's going to be a VIP here this weekend from July 11th to July 13th. She's like, but we have no idea like who it is or what's going on. But it was like really difficult to get from the Grand Cal to the Disneyland Hotel. And then we come to find out a couple hours later that it was because JD Vance was arriving, and they therefore needed to have like crazy souped up security everywhere around the hotel and around the parks. And I actually was like, I'm so glad that I had decided to use my one complimentary park day 2 weeks ago instead of that weekend, because I don't know how that manifested in the parks. I'm sure that it was kind of a logistical nightmare for people there too, because if we couldn't even exit the hotel, I can imagine that if he was in a certain place riding a certain ride, that they probably had, closed certain
Yeah,
routes
there's a
off
big
and
bubble. There's the stuff you see and don't see. I've done training for the Secret Service, and I've actually done some of the waterside security a couple of years ago when Biden came into Tampa. We were part of that team, and yeah, there are various layers of security. A bunch you saw, and a whole bunch that you didn't see. They're fairly careful. I mean, unless you want to climb up on a roof 30 yards away, but that's a whole other story we won't get into.
yeah. So yeah, so that was a kind of a crazy experience, and also made me happy that I was staying at the villas at the Disneyland Hotel and not Grand Cal for those couple of days,
Oh
because
yeah, everything just had to be secured to the nines.
yeah, it was wild. It was it was also like if you were staying at the Grand Cal and you were arriving for the first time, like it definitely would have been a little bit off-putting, because instead of seeing this like beautiful, like, when you pull up, there's the signage and there's the entry gate, and it's like you kind of start to get into the theming, and it very much felt like a security tent that you were going through. So it was wild. But I digress. I don't know what made me think of that, but I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, we were talking about presidents and we were talking about Disneyland, and how could I not mention that I was there when JD Vance was there?
This is the potpourri show. It's a little bit of everything thrown in here. We're
right.
good.
This is just stream of consciousness.
Right. So I've got a question for you. We're talking about the embarrassment that is the Eat to the Beat concert schedule. If you could pick one, right? So we've got Eat to the Beat, we've got Garden Rocks, we've got the Broadway series, and we've got Candlelight Processional. Which is your favorite?
That is a hard question. I mean, I feel like I really love. I'm gonna immediately take the Broadway concert series off of the table. I love it,
That
but
shocks me because I know how much you love it.
well, I do. I love Broadway, but being in New Jersey, like I go to Broadway shows fairly, like with some frequency, and so a lot of the Broadway concert series, like they're all the Disney Broadway shows. Like a lot of them are the Disney Broadway shows. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I will sit there like but like the irony is, Cara Lindsay, who starred in Newsies on Broadway, who often performs at E to the Beat. She literally lives in my town. She's like 3 doors down from my ex-husband's girlfriend. So like we're a very Broadway centric community. So like we see a lot of these people. So it's kind of like when I go to Disney, like I don't go to like Il Molino because I can go in New York. It's kind of like I feel a little bit the same way with the Broadway concert series. It's like I'm seeing people that like live in my community performing
Now
there,
you know
which
how
is
I feel
very
about
cool.
cruises.
Yeah. but I still do it, Phil.
Yeah, that's where you lost me.
No, I still do it. And there was one year that they had people performing from Aida, and that was a Disney musical that I absolutely loved. And when it went off Broadway, like I don't even think that it toured. It's like I feel like it kind of became like obsolete a little bit. So when they did Aida at Broadway at the Broadway concert series, I loved it. But so I mean, I am a big fan of that one, but I don't know that I can say that it's my favorite. I I did mention I did love Cool and the Gang, so that's like a standout memory for me. And I love the Candlelight Processional. For me, it really does depend on who the narrator is, because I saw it one year with Neil Patrick Harris, stood in the line, and I like sorry NPH, like no shade, but like he talked a lot about the show that he was like working on that was coming out. And like the year prior, I had seen Isabella Rossellini was the narrator there when I saw it, and I wasn't particularly excited for that one. But during her like monologue where they can say say their own thing, I loved what she had to say. It was great. And I saw Andy Garcia one year, and he was great too. So I do think that it depends on the narrator for me. It is absolutely beautiful, and I think that as part of the Festival of the Holidays, it really does kind of like complete that experience, where the other ones feel like a little bit like of an add-on. Like you don't necessarily feel like they are really like a part of the festival. Candlelight Processional feels like it's part of the festival. Do you know what I mean? So
I do. I was actually making some comparisons. So I went back and looked at this year's Garden Rocks. So we've got Tommy DiCarlo, and it's a good thing they put in captions, former lead singer of Boston, Air Supply, Blue October, Rick Springfield, Herman's Hermits rather, 38 Special, ELO, Sugar Ray, Simple Plan, Jody Messina, Flock of Seagulls, Taylor Dane, 98 Degrees, Plain White Tees, John Cicada, The Spinners, The Pointer Sisters, Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles. I don't know, I feel like I've got at least this year's lineup. I've got to give Garden Rocks the edge. I love Candlelight Processional, but I never want to sit there through the whole thing. Candlelight Processional is also one of them that's very weather dependent. You could get beautiful nights. You could be frozen in Epcot. But again, you're right. Give me Gary Sinise doing Candlelight Processional. Give me who else has been? I mean, NPH is always Josh Gad is a riot at Candlelight Processional. I think those are solid.
yeah, this year a lot of people loved Brendan Fraser did it, and people like raved about him doing it.
Yeah, there was a huge uproar for him. Yeah, absolutely. I think as far as music goes, I got to go at least this year with Garden Rocks. I think they had better performers. I think that Eat to the Beat is just making me question my mortality a little bit.
Well, you know what I like about Candlelight Processional too?
I will just nod my head and smile in the hopes that the online recording software captured all of that, because I got none of it. So I'm just going to say, good on you. I completely agree with whatever you just said.
I know I got a thing that said device struggling to record, so I don't know if it actually got any of it.
All right. Well, I suppose that's our cue, I guess.
Yeah, it's time. I'm wondering if the weather has turned outside.
We'll find out. All right. Well, in the event that we caught all of what Amy just said, I completely agree. In the event we did not catch all of what Amy just said, we're just going to say that was fate. Maybe we weren't supposed to talk about that.
The TLDR version of what I just said was the other thing why I really like Candlelight Processional. It's the only one that I have ever purchased a dining package for, because I like to go to Beer Garden, have like the holiday. It's like the only restaurant that's decorated for the holidays. Like have dinner there, then go over and watch it. I've never stood in line for an Eat to the Beat or Garden Rocks or Broadway concert series. If I walk by and I can grab a seat and I like them, I'll watch it. If not, I'll stand in the back. But I would never wait in line or pay for a dining package for any of them except for Candlelight Processional.
And let's be honest, how often does one get a chance to wear their Christmas lederhosen?
Oh, I mean, that's the other thing. If I can break those out,
break those out once a year.
if I can wear my beer wench Christmas costume, then, you know.
Oh, so many sausage comments. Okay. Now, with that, thank you for playing along as always. If you could head on over to Apple Podcasts, give us a like, a 5-star review. We would appreciate it. Amy?
And if you'd like to join in on the conversation or the ridiculous shenanigans that we get up to, please join us on Facebook at DVC Clubhouse. You can find us also on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And until next time, we'll DVC you real soon.
Bye, guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.
Happily ever